All right, next game up, we have Virginia Tech against Tennessee. It's a neutral game. Tennessee is laying 11.5 just about everywhere, 111 that I see, and it's 54.5 across the board as far as the total goes. One thing to note real quick as far as those numbers go, they opened lower. All right, they opened 10-point favorites, so it's been bet up on Tennessee, and they opened 54, moved down to 50.5 on the total, and then bought all the way back up to 54.5. I don't have it in front of me. I believe my total number was 52.5. So there might be a little bit of value coming here on the under if it got to 55 or 56. And my number for the game against Virginia Tech, again, don't have it in front of me. I should have pulled it up before I do the videos. I'll remember to do that more often in the future. But I believe it's like 8.5. Pretty sure it's just 8 even. And because it's neutral, and this is basically being lined as if Bristol, Connecticut, or in Tennessee, it is like a home game for them, and it's not. They're essentially equal distances from the place, the location of the game, uh, and ultimately it's going to sell similar to. You're not going to have, Virginia Tech fans travel well, and especially in a game over there, and there's not really an edge there, and so I'm surprised by the line being this high. And ultimately, the reason is what happened last week against Appalachian State at home as 21-point favorites. They went to overtime, barely escaped. Drastic, just catastrophe, I guess is what the word I was actually trying to say. I If they would have lost, I mean their season's essentially over. They escaped. This is a all right. Focus the hell up and dominate. But they're playing a really good Virginia Tech team who actually struggled themselves early against Liberty, an FCS opponent. If I recall, they were also losing late in the second quarter. Scored a couple touchdowns. I think they ended up scoring like the last 23 points or so. Um, or maybe it was 26. I don't remember off the top of my head, but the point is they were losing, and it seems like a lot of these bigger schools are looking ahead to these more marquee games that they've had in week two. We saw it with TCU, Utah, and now Virginia Tech and Tennessee. So it's be interesting to see. I mean, my numbers say 100% you have to take Virginia Tech here. I still want to see what Justin Fuente's done with this team. Couldn't really tell against Liberty, and if anything, you learned that they struggled. But I love Fuente long term. I think he's going to be a great hire for Virginia Tech in the program. But I'm also afraid to bet against Dobbs and Tennessee here just in general because I think they might just plow. They're really good. They're the seventh best team in my power ratings. In the entire country. I don't just automatically bump them down to 20 because of one game. They have a lot to prove now, and they're probably going to do it. So it's super inflated. It might come back down. So if you do like Tennessee and you want to bet Tennessee, I don't think there's really a harm in waiting. If you like Virginia Tech, I'd take it now because the number is high and inflated, and there's a lot of guys out there that are sharp, bet a lot of money, and just bet numbers. And getting an 11.5 is a pretty nice edge in that regard. So if you like Tennessee, my recommendation is wait. If you like Virginia Tech, take the 11.5 now. Total pass for me unless it gets a couple points higher.